Hi there and welcome to the next episode of our employment law video series. Today I'm going to be introducing you to our partner and the head of our employment law department, Philip Richardson, who is going to be discussing the topic of sexual harassment in the workplace.
Hi, I'm Philip Richardson. I'm a partner in the employment team at Stephensons Solicitors. Today I'm going to be talking about the subject of sexual harassment, what constitutes sexual harassment, and then giving some guidance about what employees and employers should do if they find themselves in these circumstances. So I've been working at Stephensons for over 20 years now. During that time I started as a trainee, then qualified into the employment team as a solicitor, and have since headed up the team and now a partner in the team. We advise employees and employers on all types of employment related issues, advising employees on unfair dismissal, discrimination claims, and equally employers on how to deal with best practice in employment law and HR. What got me into employment law, I'd say, was just the variety. At the time I qualified, seeing the ability to develop others and managing the team. It was a fast-paced, sort of moving area, lots of legislation around, so I thought it would be a really interesting area to get into. So sexual harassment in an employment context by law, the definition is unwanted conduct of a sexual nature, violating a person's dignity or creates a hostile, intimidating, degrading or offensive environment for somebody to work in. Yeah, so certainly that could range from a number of things, whether it's inappropriate comments being raised in the workplace, which a person might find offensive, lewd comments or jokes, right through to obviously serious acts of sexual assault. It can range really. It might be initially from the outset an employee might come to us and asks us how they can deal with such issues, raise such issues. They may not have actually raised it informally in the workplace. We can go through the options with them and give them guidance about how to deal with such concerns being raised, right through to raising a formal grievance. Sometimes employees come to us having taken those steps and not got the appropriate resolution, and therefore need advice about how we can assist them with an employment tribunal claim. So the first step is obviously acknowledging it's obviously quite a sensitive subject, so we would help guide that person through that process and explain to them the steps that they need to take. Sometimes they may be quite reluctant or hesitant in taking a claim for fear of not being believed. First step of the process would be to go through ACAS first of all, just to see if the resolution can be found that way. Because sometimes it may not be financial, sometimes a person may be looking for an apology, some kind of acknowledgement from the employer that obviously what's happened, they feel aggrieved, and they may feel that that would be enough of a vindication in that respect. If it's financial compensation, ACAS can help in dealing with that as well. So if then after the ACAS process, if that's not been successful, we can then help support that person by going through the tribunal process and starting a tribunal claim. It is important to remember that the claim can be brought not just against the company, but also against the person who that complaint has been raised against, so they can be individually held responsible for any misconduct. An important consideration to remember is that you need to act quickly in bringing tribunal claims, so you have to have brought your claim within a 3-month window by starting the ACAS early conciliation process. If that's not successful, they should receive a certificate, and then you have a period of 1 month to then start your employment tribunal claim. It's also important to remember that if you're going through an internal grievance process, you still have to be mindful of that time frame, because you still need to act within 3 months, less 1 day, from the date of the act of harassment to then start the ACAS early conciliation process. Once a claim's then been issued at an employment tribunal, it's likely that a hearing will be held to determine how the case moves forward. A lot of claims do settle, but if not, that's why it's important to obtain legal advice so we can help support you through that process. In terms of assisting an employer, first of all, it's important to actually consider the risks with proceeding with the defence to that claim. Companies have a reputation to protect, and therefore if there is a risk with that claim, it's important to obviously point that out to the employer so they can consider their options about whether it's worth considering some kind of resolution, whether it's settlement, or by defending it at the employment tribunal. So having dealt with a claim, it's important that employers then take steps to address those concerns and to mitigate against the risk of that happening again. So again, going back to look at their procedures and ensuring that everybody has been given appropriate training and managers have been given appropriate support in terms of dealing with those types of concerns in the workplace. We appreciate it can be quite a difficult time for an employee to raise this type of issue for fear of reprisal, for fear of not being believed. But the point is they should have the confidence to come to us because we can help support them and guide them in terms of the steps that they need to take. So the first step is we usually get the inquiry through. Our team is well versed in dealing with these types of issues and understand it's quite a difficult time. So we'll deal with it sensitively and then talk you through different options available to you in order to take that forward. So Stephensons are well placed to deal with these types of issues because we act on behalf of both employees and employers and recognise and understand how these claims work from both angles. We're an award-winning law firm, meaning we can give you the best legal advice, but importantly at the same time you should have confidence in coming to us knowing that. But the team are all down to earth and personable and will help support you with what is quite a sensitive and difficult issue. So thank you for listening today. I hope it has been useful. As I say, if you've got any questions, please get in touch with us.
Thank you for tuning in. We're looking forward to bringing you new content soon.